Hello and welcome to a new episode of Bahrain Today. Stay tuned for an exciting episode filled with interesting topics and guests. Don't go away. Clever Play is on a bold mission to inspire and empower kids through the power of STEM and STEAM education. Let's have a look to know more about it.
Our business is about a robot that can also turn into a car. His hand is here, it opens and closes. The price is 15 BD if you want to try and buy it.
And it grabs stuff like big and small. And like if you play with it, it's not like it can be only in one person's hand. Everybody can play with it. Everyone can try playing with it. And like it's fun to play with.
My name is Amar and we made a robot. So first we started off with the head and box. So then we put the flip sign over here and then robot. Then we made this board. It said flip robot here and here's our name. And then we just did some things around it.
This is our poster about video games. We picked Minecraft. Minecraft is a game, and there's figures like Alex and Steve. Steve is the king of Minecraft, and Minecraft is fun to play. And this is the game.
My name is Khalid, and I did this game from blocks. And this game is like here we build our characters, then we take a photo, and here we build the characters that you want to add, and here you build the background, and here you do your enemies and if you wanted to walk, you come look here and we will see how it will move.
This is the man selling, and the menu is sandwiches, ice cream, burgers, pizzas, and juices, and pasta and chicken nuggets.
This is Robin. He's a robot. He's the inspiration for our upcoming mascots. We also have a lot of rides, including a lot of robots as their guidance. For the entrance, there's gonna be a light path with moving chairs to the ticket area. The ticket area will show you which one is free and which one is not. Humans won't control the ticket area. It's actually a robot because we're gonna save money by it, and there's gonna be more money given as well.
We have over 2,000 rides in this theme park. Most of them are flips. Some of them are water rides, and all of them will be waterproof. So if you want, you have an advantage to get wet if you want to get wet, and if you don't want to get wet, you don't have to get wet. Thank you.
هاي الورك شوب مالي B&L كوفي شوب. أكون منك بيكون في منيو حق درينكس سناكس سلد وفي بعد ديزرتس. بيكون منك في لايبرري في مثل وقت كيدز زون عشان إذا الأمهات يبون يحطون مثلا أطفالهم ويقعدوا منك. في مثل الوقت بيكون منك في جيتار ليف لأنه حق التالنتس وD&L يعني دورين وليالي. هي صديقتي القديمة ولكن هي اليوم مويات.
Joining us in the studio is Sheikha Latifa bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, the co-founder and managing director at Clever Play. Welcome to Bahrain Today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
So in the beginning, can you introduce us to Clever Play?
Absolutely. So Clever Play is really on a mission to equip, empower, and inspire children with the skills that they need for the future. Obviously, you know today that the current education system is not keeping up with the times. And we want to make sure that children are not left behind in the future.
Yes.
So really the idea came about when we wanted to skill them for the future with the digital skills that they need, not only to let's say succeed in life, but also to thrive, especially given that 65% of children entering the primary school today are going to be working in jobs that don't exist yet.
Yes.
So how then can we really educate them for
Or prepare them.
Yes. For what's to come?
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
So that's Clever Play in a nutshell, but
In
I'm
a
sure there's
nutshell.
more to it and more to the activities that we're doing. I want to know what inspired Clever Play to come to life.
Yeah, I think I owe it to my two biggest inspirations. They've been I would say the source of why we started what we started, and they're my nephews, Ali and Mohammed. They're 7 and 5.
Bless them.
Yeah, thank you. And so really, when you start thinking about how can you invest in, these kids, you think about equipping them again with and making them future-proof. How do we make them future-proof? Well, again, skilling them with the skills that unfortunately schools currently, not just in Bahrain, but really across the board around the world, are still kind of having it hard to introduce topics like coding and robotics into the curriculum.
Definitely.
So we wanted really to bridge the gap. And so, yeah, they've been the inspiration, and they helped us really reach out to so far 13,000 children in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia.
Wow, amazing. I was going to ask about the number that you're covering, and it's beyond my expectations, to be honest. I'm really interested to know, what do you mean about, with the STEM and STEAM education, if we can explain it to our viewers?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked me that question, because STEM is, like, I would say, the more prevalent one. A lot of people know what STEM is. STEM basically stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So maybe you would think, yeah, some of these topics are already covered in school. But what STEM really is that it introduces children to these topics in a very blended and interactive way. So moving away from theoretical learning into more practical application and project-based learning.
Okay.
So students get to actually create programs and projects that are related to these integrated fields.
Amazing.
STEAM is, I would say, STEM 2.0. It's an upgraded version of STEM. And basically, it's with the introduction of the arts. So the A stands for arts. And by arts, we don't necessarily just mean, arts and crafts or coloring. Arts is really, the right side of the brain, the more creative and innovative side of the brain.
For the left-handed people.
Well,
Is this true or is it a myth?
I think it's a myth.
Okay.
Why? Because we want to develop the whole child.
Okay.
We've been given a brain. The left side of the brain is more analytical. So, the subject like science, engineering would definitely fall under that. But then also, the design, the creativity, the artistic side would be the left, the right side.
Yes.
And the way that I think about this is, when you look at your iPhone, you don't see all the engineering parts.
Yes.
And there's a lot of engineering involved, but you don't see it because you're drawn to the aesthetic, you're drawn to the beauty.
Definitely.
And this is the way that I see STEAM. So, we're advocates of STEAM education because we feel that the arts is a very big component that should be included.
Okay. And how was the response of the kids, when you started, and how are they today? Do they still want to come back? Do you feel like it kind of affected how they think and how they bring all of this together for their schools?
Absolutely. We've had some pretty awesome children that we've had the privilege of working with. I'm going to give you an example of one child who's very close to our hearts. His name is Faisal. He's been with us for almost 2 years now. So he's been with us since the very beginning, and he's with us until, I've just seen him yesterday.
Okay.
So he's been coming for this entire time. And the great value here is that, we're not only developing the hard skills, so, we're not just developing, let's say, the coding abilities or the robotics abilities, but we're also developing the soft skills,
Yes.
which are just as important as the hard skills. So collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, all of these things. So to date, Faisal's been with us, like I said, for almost 2 years.
Yes.
He completed a lot of different programs, a lot of different projects that he gets to take home to his parents. And his mom has been his biggest cheerleader, wanting to see him to continue to grow.
Yes.
So I'm happy to share that, now Faisal, speaks, a few coding languages because
Amazing.
they are languages of the future after all.
Yes.
So he's proficient in at least 2 languages programming languages.
Wow. How
yeah.
old is he?
He's 7 now.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really, really amazing.
Yeah.
And inspiring. I feel like we've been missing out on a lot. And the coming generation is, they're learning faster, they're eager to learn if the foundation is provided and the environment is provided.
100%. I think learning, it's unfair sometimes that learning should, is not fun. I think we want to make learning fun, but also make learning addictive, just like video games.
Yes.
And really the whole premises of what we do is kind of changing the mindsets of children to start thinking about themselves as consumers of technology, watching a video on YouTube or playing a video game or using an app, to more of, creators and makers of technology. So they come to us, instead of watching a video, they make their own. Or instead of, playing a video game, we actually teach them how to create their own video game.
Yes.
So it's just changing that mindset.
And they do want to learn, because I noticed this with my brother. They have the ability to learn. They're fast learners. They just need someone to guide them. And how do you ensure that parents are also in the same level? Because kids are going to speak a different language now. So you also need to give some guidance to the parents to ensure that this creativity does not stop at home as well, because they need to support them at home as well.
Yes, I'm so glad you touched on this, because it's the awareness piece that sometimes is missing. I feel a lot of parents, undervalue these types of activities. They care more about, academics and let's say, math tuition or English, where they know that there's a complete reflection on the grades at school. What we say is, it's definitely an investment in your child. You may not be able to see it today, but you will definitely see it in the years to come. Obviously we don't operate as a school, we don't do grading systems or anything of that nature, but the child completes a project at the end of the program. And the project basically will require the child to use all of the skills that they've developed over the course of the month or two, and come up with a project on their own.
Amazing.
So
they get to see the final product of their efforts and the efforts that they're doing throughout the course or the. I'm not sure how often do they come? Is it weekly? Is it
exactly
okay.
Once or twice a week?
Once or twice.
If, for example, if there's a camp, it's a longer period of time, and they come extensively for like 3 hours for across 5 days.
And how often do you host these camps?
So camps are usually, winter, so we're just approaching winter camp.
Okay.
So stay tuned for, our upcoming themes.
Yeah.
So we have winter, we have summer, which is obviously the biggest one, and spring as well, which happens during March or April.
And I asked this off air, but I really need to tell the viewers, what is the age group that you welcome in Clever Play?
So we cater to 4 to 14-year-olds. Obviously, we have different programs that are, age appropriate for the different age groups, but 4 to 14. Yes.
Okay. And you're having an event on Saturday. Can we talk about it more?
Absolutely. So as you know, Bahrain is currently celebrating the Global Entrepreneurship Week. So we're looking really to shed light on entrepreneurship, and we're going to be creating a program, a very eventful program from 9 to 5 that is specifically about entrepreneurship. So our program is called Kids Who Start Up, and towards the end of the program, kids will be working together, they'll be coming up with a business idea, and then they're going to be prototyping and finally pitching to a panel of judges about their business idea.
That's amazing and cute at the same time. I can imagine those little, kids trying to sell their products and coming up with the concepts. I really don't want to end the segment because I'm really having fun learning more about Clever Play. It's an amazing place. But what are your future plans?
Well,
where are you taking Clever Play?
Yeah, well, definitely, Bahrain has been the launch pad in many ways. It's strategically located. It gave us an opportunity to test our idea, to pilot it for, almost 2 years now. We had the opportunity to serve in Saudi Arabia over the summer, and we'll continue to go back next month. But we're definitely looking to expand beyond Bahrain. This has always been the vision. So really to become the STEM and STEAM leader in the region and beyond. And
I'm sure you will. We have big trust in the Bahraini capabilities and visions, of course. So thank you so much for being here with us in the studio, and I wish you all the best, and I wish the kids as well all the best in Clever Play.
Thank you very much, and like we like to say, we're inspiring the next, innovators, inventors, change makers, and entrepreneurs. So watch out for them because they are the generation to come.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Viewers, if you're into racing and tracks, then you won't want to miss out on our next segment. Stay tuned. Joining us here in the studio is Gracie Grantham, the youngest female go-kart racer in Bahrain, and her manager Khalid Sa'i. Hello and welcome to our studio.
Hello.
We're really honored to have you here with us, Gracie.
Thank you.
I like your outfit in the beginning.
Thank you.
And in the beginning, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay, my name is Gracie Grantham. I am 10 years old and I come from England.
Okay. Awesome. And you're a racer
Yeah.
and a student, I bet. Yeah. So, can you tell me how did you start karting journey?
So I was 3 years old and my grandpa, he was really into motorsport and we always went to the F1, and so when I was 3 years old he brought me to the F1 and I really loved it.
Okay.
But I couldn't just start because I was way too young then. So a couple, 3 years later, I was 7 years old and they took me to a rental session and I kept on driving from there every Saturday morning. And I think 5 months in, then I got recognised by the professional racing team, Praga Middle East, and I got invited and I joined, and then that's when my racing career started.
And you're part of the team now.
Yeah.
Not only part of the team, but winning trophies as well.
Yeah.
You're the star.
Yeah.
So how do you find, young kids involved in such activities? How easy is it for parents to, let their kids be part of such activities?
I'll have to say that at the beginning it was not easy due to the fact that parents always scared for their kids and they think motorsports is very dangerous. Yes, it has a danger part of it, but the way that it's built in Bahrain, it's very safe. We use the highest specs of karts. The track is one of the safest in the world, and I would have to say it's one of the safest sport, alhamdulillah, and that you can practice in Bahrain. On the other hand, I would say you get a lot of support from parents for the kids to evolve in the sport. The other hand is we started the journey of motorsport back in 2004 with His Highness the Crown Prince when he brought Formula One to Bahrain, and that was a big jump and change that happened in Bahrain, and that's why we're having racers like Gracie and others racing.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm sure the parents' support to have them do this extra activity besides their studies, of course, is one of the main factors that ensures that such teams, reach to places and compete in competitions, whether it's locally or internationally.
I'll have to say also beyond that, it's not only as an activity that's done, it's more of a professional thing.
Okay.
The way that Grace is doing it, she's doing it very professional.
Amazing.
It takes a lot of commitment, a lot of dedication from her end and also from the family. There's a huge support coming from her family, and this is something we're very proud to see. Because end of the day, motorsport is a very professional sport that could reach the highest level, as we know, for example, in formulas and so on.
Yes, definitely. So Gracie, did you compete in competitions in Bahrain and outside of Bahrain?
Yeah, I've competed in the Miami series, which is in the UAE, and I've competed in Bahrain, which is the Rotax series.
You were telling me about 2 races that you did outside of Bahrain that you liked a lot. Can you mention these?
Abu Dhabi.
You liked the track?
Yeah, I liked the track. It was really fun. It has
a lot of
it has a lot of turns and complicated turns, and it was really challenging competing there. There was a lot of people, so it's a lot.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I learned a lot there.
Great. And how do you have any challenges? Did you face any challenges when you entered this field, and how did you overcome them? Were you scared in the beginning or nervous?
Yeah, at the beginning I was a bit nervous, but I quickly overcame that.
Because you were imagining your favorite driver and where you want to reach.
Yeah, I was wanted to reach F1 really quickly, but I realised there's a lot of steps
Of
before coming to F1.
And who is your favorite driver?
Lewis Hamilton, definitely.
Amazing. And you get to meet him.
Yeah, I meet him every year.
So you make sure that you go and meet him every
Yeah.
year. And you tell him about your accomplishments as well.
Yeah, I had a cracked visor and I went to the F1 with it and I made him sign it.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
And one day you will be signing
Yeah.
my shirt once you are in the F1 one day. So tell me about these trophies that we have here with us.
So this one here on the right, I won it in 3rd place in the Miami Championship.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Are they heavy?
yeah, they're quite heavy actually. And then this one here, I'm not sure if it's last race or the race before. That's a 1st place from this series.
Wow.
Same as that one, 1st place from this series.
Amazing.
And then that one down there on the left is 2nd place from last season, this series.
That's amazing. You have more, right? You told me?
Yeah, I've got 10 more.
10 more.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm sure you'll be getting more in the future as
Yeah,
well. So how
definitely.
often do you train, Gracie?
3 times a week. Yeah, 3 times a week mainly.
And as a coach, how do you ensure that you give the kids the proper advice to follow this as a career in the future?
I would say that we base a lot on customizing our training sessions to the kids. So basically we treat each racer and each driver different than the others because of the way that we give them the advice, give them we teach them differently. So it's more of a customized thing. So for example, in the case of Gracie, she's a very fast learner and everything. So we try to push her always to drive better, to perfect her lines and push her to even go faster on the track. And to be honest, as kids in her age, going fast is not a problem. They always try to go even faster, you know, and this is something...
And I'm sure she likes it.
Oh, she does. She does.
Yeah? So Gracie, who is your biggest supporter?
Definitely my grandma and my grandpa.
Yeah, she's here with us as well, right?
Yeah.
To support you.
Yeah.
Okay, and can you tell us about the helmet? I think there's a story behind the helmet.
Yeah, there's a big story. So, coming up to my 10th birthday, I got a special helmet which is here.
Okay.
But 16 days before my birthday, my grandpa passed away, which was really sad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was
I'm
really
sorry
sad.
for your loss.
Thank you.
But I'm sure he's proud of you and all of your
Yeah.
accomplishments, and he's always going to be by your side.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're going to do this for him.
Yeah, definitely. All my trophies, I think about him when I'm racing.
That's amazing, and that's why you'll be achieving more first places in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with us,
Thank
and I wish you
you.
all the best. And one day when I come and visit, don't forget me.
I
You need to
will.
let me in.
Yeah, I
Once
will.
you're one of the big famous racers.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here with
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Viewers, don't go away for some exciting artistic topic coming your way. We all know how art has been one of the greatest forms of expressing one's true feelings. But how about graffiti? With the many misleading consumptions regarding street art, Mustafa Al-Halwachi introduced graffiti to the Kingdom of Bahrain with a new twist and impression that will blow your mind.
University of Bahrain art students have introduced their passion and diverse major to their audience, providing a panel for top artists to express and share their knowledge with others. Mustafa Al-Halwachi is a famous graffiti artist that has an aim of changing the perception of street art in the kingdom, with his outstanding wall portraits that carries the importance of identity and emotions.
For these events, and particularly the seminars that we are organizing here, the reason behind having such seminars is for our students to get to know the different artists and the pioneers in Bahrain, and to have a network with these artists and to benefit from their experiences and their skills. For us to help these students develop and acquire their presentation skills as well as their storytelling skills as well. So most of these students actually organize seminars for the first time ever in their lives, and I'm very pleased with the way they are interacting with the artists, putting the questions together and forward to these artists and designers. And I think it's very important to hold such seminars and to allow everyone who is interested in art and graphic design to be with us and have this network, not just for artists, because we already do have a network and societies for artists, but we do not have such a thing for graphic designers as well as artists in Bahrain. So I'm trying to start this through having such seminars, both in art and design.
Under the supervision of Dr. Samal Hashimi, the seminar session at Link Atelier has joined many art students and passionates with different knowledge and ideas regarding street art or graffiti.
I was very pleased with all the information that he told us and he told the students. It's a very unique experience. It's rare actually to see street artists in Bahrain, and it's still something that is in its infancy, let's say, when it comes to our region. He gave us lots of ideas, and actually we do not have any course at the University of Bahrain that is related to street art or public art. So this is one of the things that I will definitely be thinking about, planning to have hopefully very soon as part of our program.
Joining us here in the studio is the mega talented graffiti artist Mustafa Al-Halwachi. Welcome to Bahrain Today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you. So in the beginning, how did you start your graffiti journey?
Well, it's a long story, but I've started drawing since I was a young child, and I found it about myself that I love doing this. It's later in life, when I was in high school, that I've met some graffiti artists, and later also in college that I started doing it, you know. But once that I fell in trouble as well, as graffiti artists go, you know, it is an illegal form of art. So I got in trouble with the law, you know. So I decided to stop and focus on more progressive forms of art, and my career as well, being a designer, furniture design and stuff. But I got back into it around the year 2012, 2013, and we started here in Bahrain with the Ministry of Culture, where they started, you know, they found out that I do street art, and they wanted me to do some work in one of their programs that happened in Bab al-Bahrain, and it kicked off from there.
Okay.
We never expected that this form of art is gonna, you know, pick up, and then from then on, it was just, you know, the story and the happening.
Okay. And what's the difference when it comes to graffiti and painting on a canvas for you as an artist?
It's the format, first of all. We work on a very large format and in a public domain.
So there's no space for mistakes.
Exactly, and the speed of painting is like the pressure that comes on you when you're painting on the street. You need to finish fast because you don't have the luxury of, you know, leaving your painting behind for a couple of days while you get back into the mood or have more.
No.
It looks like you're like, you know, spreading your laundry out there. So it puts a lot of pressure on you to finish, which is a great energy. You know, we feed off of that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then interaction with the people that, you know, while you're working, people pass by. It's a different feel.
Yes, and when you start on a piece, do you imagine how it will look like at the end, like your final product?
Yes, so at the very least, the sketch. You know, we start from because of the fact that we need to finish quickly. It's not the fact that I'm going to go and improvise the whole thing, even though I do that sometimes. Depends on how comfortable or how much time I have. But usually I do go head to the wall with a very clear sketch or an idea of where I want to go with this.
Okay, and how do you find the public's acceptance to such a form of art?
In this day and age, they're accepting it very well. It's actually a very accepted form of art. It got into the gallery. It got into the international art scene. Last year in Art Bab, there was a street art pavilion that we had to host. It was great. It was very well accepted. It was very well received. And even on a societal level, I see a lot of children loving it.
Yeah.
And even older people loving it, which is great.
Yeah. And what does it mean to you to be able to start a piece and finish it? I'm talking about graffiti.
Yes, it's something that we challenge ourselves as artists. We always aspire to go bigger, faster, more dynamic as far as the work goes itself. It's definitely a challenge, and it means a lot when we finish it. You know, it's a satisfaction.
Of
I can't
course.
explain until one day, hopefully, you try it out.
Why not? I was actually
Yes,
thinking
please.
about it. So my
yeah.
husband is also he's an artist. He draws.
Excellent.
So I was thinking about doing this as an activity. It would be definitely
it's an
fun.
amazing activity.
Yeah?
It's a physical one.
I was going to ask you about this. Are you planning to teach it?
I do.
You do?
Like not only me. There's like a couple of people, like active artists in the community.
How do you find so many walls
Well,
to teach?
now we usually prepare panels. Like in certain events, for example, last year in Shop Bahrain, we had a street art corner, graffiti corner, and we had a 6-meter wall that was changing every weekend.
Amazing.
And every weekend there were like 2 artists painting the wall and 1 artist giving a class.
Okay.
It was very well received. We were very surprised by the people that attended the workshops and wanted to attend the workshop. From all walks of life, from all ages, from all backgrounds. So it was very well, and then we are planning also more workshops to be happening in the near future as well.
So I'll book my workshop with you.
Please do.
Definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll do it as a family activity.
We will be very honored to have you.
Thank you. So can you tell us more about the projects that you've done across Bahrain and your upcoming projects as well?
Well, I've been a regular in the Nest Art Festival that was happening in Block 338 in Adliya.
Yeah.
And I was there from 2013 all the way to 2018 when it was sadly stopped. So I still have a couple of pieces in Adliya going on, like still there on some walls. In Bahrain Bay, the wharf area,
Yes,
that's my
I've
complete
seen it.
project.
Yeah.
The columns and the walls
Yes.
there. I've done the structure, the installation 3D mural right outside of Al Baraka Bank.
Amazing.
And we have a lot of indoor pieces that are like spread around the country in places like Spartan Gym and a lot of restaurants. A lot of people are accepting this as a form of decor as well.
Wow.
So it's also working to our benefit.
Of course.
Yeah.
And do you think such form of art would be taught in schools in the future?
Oh, we sure hope so.
Yeah?
For me, it is a very important form of art, and I really hope that it picks up.
Me too.
It was
'Cause
there,
it's-
you know. A lot of schools in the past have this program where they painted the walls. You must have seen this.
Yes, definitely. We used to do that.
Exactly.
It wasn't graffiti, but we
But
used
it's
to.
street art. It's
Yes,
a public art
we were
form.
part of, decorating the school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the base is there in Bahrain. You know, people already have it somehow.
Just need to explore more.
Just need to push
Yeah.
it. You know, you just need to push it forward.
Yeah.
Basically. Yes.
And what are the challenges you face as an artist when it comes to, putting your art out there for the people?
And as far as street art and
Yes.
public art goes,
Yes.
it's the weather mainly.
Yeah, I bet you.
very challenging to work sometimes
Yes.
because it's work. You know,
Do you use
have
the fan?
Actually, just a hat.
Nothing helps.
Nothing
Nothing
helps.
helps.
You know, it's like even the air that comes.
Even if
to
you
you
had
is
a
quite
portable
hard.
AC with you.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't
you know,
work.
we tried everything.
But now it's your season.
Exactly. You know, as long as it doesn't rain and there's no wind, we're good to go. You know,
Yeah.
that's one of the main challenges. Is a physical strain because you have to be standing and climbing a ladder or a scaffold. We usually work on a large format, so it is physically challenging.
Yes.
And that's one. You know, and there's a lot of challenges. There's the social fabric challenge where we always have to be, you know, it is a piece of work that's going to be in the public domain, so we have to always be careful not to step on any toes.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, we have to always take the culture into consideration, which is
social
not
fabric.
social fabric.
Yes,
Yeah, which is not a
definitely.
problem because I'm a believer of add value
Yes.
rather than piss people off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's no point to it. You know, I'm trying to spread this as a positive,
Just
in a
spread
positive.
love and happiness
Exactly.
and peace, and just
Exactly.
reflect, the good vibes.
Yeah,
And
be a cultural ambassador.
Yes.
You know, try to at least.
definitely.
You know,
And I really admire when I meet an artist and they tell me that they're doing this as a full time.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of
It does.
time, and thinking into how will you turn this into an
Yes, it
actual
does.
career. So how do you
Living.
do that? Yes.
Well, first off, it takes time, right? But it's definitely worth it. It definitely works. You know, it is a career that is accepted on a multiple of levels. You see it, and you see a lot of artists turn curators. You see a lot of artists turn gallery managers. So there is a career path behind this. Whether it's a public art program, there's a lot of countries, Bahrain included, that focuses on the visual aspect, the visual beauty of the public arena. There's a lot of artists that ended up going to Europe and Asia and participating in a lot of programs there. So it just needs the persistence, just like anything else in life. Whatever is worth it, it's worth putting the time into it. You know.
Definitely.
But definitely there's also there's like an economic aspect, as in it transforms into merchandise. You can join with fashion designers. You can join with even
Jewelry designers.
Jewelry designers. I as one have put a lot of my art into my furniture.
Yes.
So there's a lot of aspects that it's not just as an art form where am I going to sell this painting or not. It's I'm going to be able to work with designers to, like I said,
How can I collaborate?
How can I collaborate?
Yes.
How can I open up my think
Just
outside
you add
the
value
box.
to other lines of business
Exactly.
as well in the economy.
You gotta
It's
think
not just
outside the box.
yourself, but you're
Exactly.
trying to help everyone else with you.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
then also create a new economic line,
Yeah.
for the country. There's a lot of creatives in this country, and I feel like sometimes even especially the younger artists, sometimes when I talk to them, I feel like they're afraid that this would not be a means to an end, a means to live.
Yes.
And I tell
Because
them
they're
that-
used to the typical
yes,
jobs.
the traditional, and even the
Jobs,
traditional
yes. Way of
thinking about art itself, even not
Yes.
about only job
Yes.
careers and whatnot. you know?
Definitely.
A lot of people think that art can. How do you pay the rent with art? And I was like, you'd be surprised. you know.
خلاص, I'm turning to arts, guys.
Yes, ma'am. We're done with that.
So, do you have any other advice that you'd like to give to young artists?
Just keep doing it. Just push it. Go out there, meet people, get involved with the community, get involved with any artistic or public events that happen. Try to push yourself out there. Create merch as simple as stickers, because that's very easy to kind of put your work out there. And look for opportunities. And if there's not any, make them. This is very important. You have to force.
Yes.
If you have this belief that you can do this, just go ahead.
Yes.
And learn. Keep learning. This is not a kind of thing that I'm going to have my degree and I'm going to have a job and done. This is it's a process, and the more you put time into it, the more you can get out of it. So learning is I'm still learning till today.
Yes,
I'm
of
still
course.
not there.
We're all of us learning.
Exactly,
I mean, in
yes.
every field.
Yes.
So, before I wrap up the segment, I'm really curious to know, how long does it take to finish a piece?
Some take as little.
Like if I need you to do this in the studio, how long would you take?
Sometimes takes as little as 2-3 hours. Sometimes
Oh.
it takes as much as 1 month. It
Oh.
depends on the artwork. It depends on
Okay.
the techniques that we get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Depends
Yeah.
on the piece.
Yes, depends
Thank
on
you
the
so
work.
much for being
Thank
here with us, and we
for
wish you all
having
the
me.
best.
I'm really happy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So much. Bye-bye.
Viewers, don't go away. We'll be right back. Viewers, thank you for joining us on our episode for the day. I would like to thank Sheikh Latif Al Khalifa for her informative topic, Gracie for her fueled heart, and Mustafa for his unique artistic identity. If you have any inquiries or suggestions, let us know by contacting our Instagram page. Until next time, Bahrain, bye-bye.